We are joined now by Joe Dublanko. Joe, if you would, give us the opening statement about the excitement of playing the college football playoff before we open it up for questions.
Yeah, well, I would just say, thank you to the Cotton Bowl for having us out here. This is a tremendous blessing and a tremendous opportunity, and thank God every day for, putting us here and the season we've had. Ultimately, your season's defined by the way you finish it, and so looking forward to this opportunity this week, and yeah.
Reminder for the media, please use the raise your hand function to get your question into the queue. We'll begin with a question from Justin Williams from The Athletic.
Hey, Joel. You guys have a pretty eclectic mix of linebackers, I would say, especially if you include the sniper position in that. What benefit does that give you in a game like this with the different, strengths of maybe you and Darian and Deshaun and Will and Ty?
Yeah, I think all those guys just have so many different aspects of their game of strengths, and then I think Will Huber and he's able to really complement kind of what I do and stuff like that, a little bit more run heavy, and then you got Ty Van and Deshaun Pace, and I think those two really complement each other really nice too as well. So I think like you said, they just kind of all play together, and I think the way the coaches use them, they do a good job of being able to balance between the two.
Our next question comes from Paul Doherty.
Hey, Joel, Paul Doherty from the Cincinnati Enquirer. I asked the same question to Darian. You guys have spent a lot of this year in kind of prove-it mode, at least to the public. If you win, do you win by enough? And now you're kind of expected to represent the power for the group of five. Has there been a moment yet for you personally where you've been allowed just to kind of sit back and reflect and savor and enjoy what you've done to this point?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, before this game, there's a good amount of time, and after the championship game, when all Cincinnati that was there, came out and rushed the field, that was an amazing moment, and just being able to sit back and take that in, that's an experience I'll never forget. But yeah, I think there's many parts of this season that there's been ups and downs and challenges, like you said, people trying to put expectations on us and try to tell us how we should or shouldn't play, or what's good or bad, or what we need to do to prove ourselves. And I think that affected the team a little bit, but ultimately we got back towards the end of the season of really focusing on ourselves and playing our game. And so I feel like that's where we're at right now. We always play with a chip on our shoulder. We always feel like we're the underdogs. We're whether or not we're the returning champs for the AAC or not, we just always have that grinder kind of go after it type mentality. And so, yeah.
Our next question comes from Joseph Hoyt.
Hi, Joel. This is Joseph Hoyt from the Dallas Morning News. I asked Darian about this, and I kind of want to ask you too. How important is development within a program, specifically at Cincinnati? And then especially for someone like you who's played so much in your career, how much better are you today than you were when you first started playing as a redshirt freshman?
I think it's night and day, the difference, of me and my transformation. I think a lot of it comes with maturity. I think the development at Cincinnati with Coach Fickle, especially as a linebacker and the defensive side of the ball. I think there's Coach Fick was a defense coordinator at Ohio State, and so there's a tremendous amount of expectations and good pressure that I think can take coals and make them into diamonds, And so I think the development at Cincinnati is really, what has set us apart. And just the way we train and our culture that we try to establish and we establish with all the guys on the team. I think it's just a night and day difference from, guys coming in and, yeah.
Thanks.
Our next question comes from Charlie Potter.
Yeah, hey Joel. Just wanted to ask you about Alabama quarterback Bryce Young. What stands out to you about his game?
Well, he's not the Heisman for, no reason. He's really good. He's a really good ball player. Can throw the ball from multiple arm angles, and he's got a really pretty deep ball. Hardly ever misses on his throws. I think he can extend plays well, and buy some time for those deep routes to get open. And yeah, he's a really good quarterback. Like I said, he's the Heisman for a reason, and so it's a tremendous opportunity to be able to play a player of that caliber, and we're just really looking forward to it.
Our next question comes from Johnny Congdon.
Hey, Joel. Thanks so much for taking the time. Johnny Conn at ABC 3340 Sports. Just preparing for Bryce Young. Obviously, he's a Heisman Trophy winner, but I was wondering, as one of the leaders in that linebacking room, have you had conversations with some of your guys on how you're going to deal with him, not just throwing balls into tight windows, but his ability to beat people on the ground as a dual threat as well? Thanks again.
Yeah, obviously, the past few weeks, that's what we've been trying to do and trying to figure out where are areas in his game we can exploit and try to create into our advantage. And so, yeah, absolutely, we've been doing that, and there's been conversations that have been happening about that.
Our next question comes from Chad Brendel.
There we go. I'm just curious, Joel, when you made the decision to come back for a 6th year, was this what you envisioned, or is this even beyond what your wildest dreams were when you decided to give it one more shot?
I would like to say, after last year, yeah, obviously, I think this is what we're all aiming for. But definitely, when I first came here, in 2016, I was not thinking, making to the college football playoffs. Even a few years ago, I wasn't thinking it. But these last couple of years, we've been able to be in a position where we are in these conversations. And so it's a huge blessing to be here. Absolutely.
How cool is it to be a part of that?
It's super cool. I mean, I just, like I said, I thank God every day to be here, and just want to honor this opportunity as much as possible and go out there and make Cincinnati proud, get that dub.
Our next question comes from Michael Casagrande.
You guys beat Notre Dame this year, obviously, and stuck with Georgia, pretty much almost beat them last year. How much confidence does that give you guys going into a game against a Power 5 conference team?
Yeah, I think it gives us tremendous, confidence going into the game. We know we're really good. We got to go out there and play our game. I think we've just shown over and over again that we belong in these games, and we have the players to be in the game.
How eager are you to put it to rest, all the talk about Cincinnati, group of 5, all that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking for the opportunity to play. I don't really listen to much outside talk, but I'm just looking forward to showing the whole nation who we are.
Our final question for Joel comes from Joe Danneman.
Hey, Joel, Joe Danneman, WXIX in Cincinnati. Very simple question, but I'm curious to hear your answer. I think anybody outside of this program looks at Alabama as one of the top brands in college football and such an explosive offense. I'm curious, as a defensive player, when you watch him on film and you prepare for him, is this the biggest challenge you've faced as a college football player going up against this offense?
I would say yes, absolutely. I think them being able to be a high-powered offense, just like you said, you never know when they're going to, make that explosive play and that big play to completely blow up in the game. And so that's the dangerous part about them and why they've been so good. They have athletes all over the field. Obviously, they like some guys more than others, but every guy on the field can play, and from top to bottom. And so, I would absolutely agree with that statement.
Thanks.
Joe, thank you very much. Best of luck on Friday.
Thank you very much.